Hello, everyone. My name is Charles Neal, and I am happy to bring the latest edition of Coffee Talk to you. Today, we have Shabana Walker, who is VP of Customer Experience Strategy over at Comcast. She specializes in tools, technology, and quality. Shabana, how's it going with you?
It's going fantastic. Nice to see you, Charles. Thanks for having me today.
Oh, please. Thanks for coming on. I mean, our last conversation was so good. I was like, oh, you have to come back in. It's too much energy here, too much knowledge and experience that we need to have you share with our audience. So I'm ready. You ready to get in?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right. So I need you to unpack for me and for the audience. When we say customer experience strategy, what does that mean?
Yes, so I and my team, we have a really cool part in our broader customer experience strategy. So we oversee tools, technology, and quality. So when I reference tools, it is every single tools that our frontline employees use. So that's our call center, our retail, our technicians use to interact with our customers. From a technology standpoint, we oversee that our IVR routing, skilling, and maintenance. And then from a quality perspective, just making sure that our employees are having quality interactions with our customers, that they know the latest and greatest, what's happening in the market space, and how does that translate when they're interacting with our customers.
Okay, that's big. I translate that into one big thing.
Yes.
With all of the companies and products that are out there that are trying to grab our eyeballs and have our attention, you are on that front line of making sure that eyeballs stay with Comcast. Because if you have one or X misses, those eyeballs shift to the latest and greatest or to, competitors, etc. So you're making sure that from Comcast perspective, those eyeballs are centered. They're like, oh, we are having an awesome experience through the tools, technology, etc. that Comcast.
Yes. Absolutely. And not to be partial, I do feel like Comcast does have the best products
Of
and
course you
services
do.
out there. So it does make our job a lot easier, right? Because I think, again, when you have a product that you can stand by and that you can believe in, and which I truly do, I work for an amazing organization, not only in what we offer our customers, but I just think about everything that we do for our community and employees. It honestly does make it easy. And I can say that I look forward to going to work every day. And again, I have an amazing team behind me, which makes it just an overall better experience.
Oh, listen, I know I have a lot of friends, colleagues over at Comcast. Your leadership, I can go on for days naming people who I'm like, okay, and you're doing things in the community. So I'm totally there with you.
Yeah.
Now, question though, when
Yes.
you look at everything in aggregate, what would key pivot points in your career that help shape you as a leader, as a manager, and your management style?
Well, that's a great question. I would say that it starts, especially with my dad. We immigrated to the United States when I was only 10, and just seeing how he left a very flourishing career in the military and
Mm.
essentially had to start from scratch. And very early on, growing up in our household, there were three things that he didn't mess around with. One was work ethic. The man does not believe in excuses to this day. You show up, you get it done, you don't make any excuses. And the second thing I remember him instilling is when we walked out of our home, we were representing our family, right? It wasn't just us, we were representing our family, which came in the form of everyone was sir, ma'am. You showed everyone respect regardless who they are. And then the third piece that he really instilled in me is that we lived a very fortunate and privileged life, and how were we paying that forward to others? So when I entered into the workforce, take Comcast for example. Next year will mark 18 years that I've been with our organization. I
Mm.
started as a frontline employee on the phones in Maryland, and I'm in my ninth role in our organization, third state, and that's always been the forefront for me. My three core values that I lead with really they really are around curiosity, faith, and legacy. And I would say how that has shaped me as a leader is that I'm a lifelong learner. I love to learn about different cultures, different people, different things, and I just feel like just having that growth mindset really just shows my teams that one, if we don't know something, we can always learn it. And it's I'm not expecting perfection, but I do expect progress. And I have a deep faith in people. I do feel as a leader, I focus on people's strengths. So I lean towards appreciative inquiry where I really just shape people's mind around, hey, this is what you're capable of doing, and building a super team of different talent, different background versus everyone feeling like they have to be the same. And then legacy, every time that I take on a new role, I think about how am I impacting? And when I leave, what will people remember about me? So I would say that my dad, definitely had a big part in who I am as a leader. Growing up in a military household, we moved a lot. I lived in a lot of different places, and that just really built that mindset of even though change will come, how I choose to react to it will really be the result of whether I'm successful or not. And anyone that I've worked with can tell you that as changes have come and go in the last 18 years, the way that I really look at it is what can I learn from this? What can my team learn from this? And how can it make us better?
9 position changes, each of them, whether they were, horizontal, definitely vertical, coming from the line to VP. You have to have a tremendous list of great mentors and sponsors that have helped you along the way. Talk to me a little bit about mentorship and sponsorship and how that helps evolve, not just your career, because I get it on your
Yes,
side. Tell the people what mentorship and sponsorship should mean to them, because they,
yes. I love that question. And I think that, networking, mentorship, sponsorship is vital to everyone's career. No one's going to get to where they want to be on their own. And I think oftentimes, that's the mistake that I see people making is that they feel like if I come to work every day, I show up, I'm going to get that recognition and I'm going to move up. And so I'll start with, when I think about networking, I think about it being a very strategic roadmap. And
yes,
one of the things is that everyone needs a board of directors, right? And what I encourage people to do, and what I've done throughout my career, it's great to have sponsorship and mentorship in your own organization. But it's great to look at your career 3 to 5 years down the line of where you think that you potentially may want to be and start connecting with people. It shouldn't just be the people in your wheelhouse, but are you reaching across the aisle? And oftentimes people think, hey, when I get a mentor, it needs to be 2 to 3 levels up. Peer mentorship is extremely powerful.
yes.
And when you, example, take us, right? Like we met and we hit it off and, we're just connecting. It doesn't necessarily have to be someone at the senior vice president level or above. Like peer mentorship can really allow you to learn about another part of the business, learn about what that person's path was and what best practices can you take from that and really make it on your own. And I would say that mentorship is an investment. Oftentimes, people will get a mentor, they will have that commitment, but then it kind of falls short because that individual isn't really level setting and preparing what they want out of that relationship. Or maybe just pick a mentor just to pick someone, and then you find out, there's not really a lot that you can learn from someone. So I always encourage people to have informational interview sessions before you pick a mentor. Learn about people's path, like what they're doing, what is your interest, and what can you really learn from someone, and find someone that's going to be a truth teller. Like find someone that is going to tell you the
I like that,
truth
Max. Yeah.
and not just what you want to hear. Because oftentimes someone will agree to mentor you, but if they don't know you or they don't know your work or people that you work with, they can't provide you with that honest and candid feedback. So I would say that one, do your homework. Two, prepare. Three, make sure that that you're valuing that person's time, that when you're scheduling time with them, that you come with an agenda, you are very specific about what you're needing out of that, and also think about how you can leverage that relationship to now meet people inside of your mentors, um, your mentors network. And
Yeah.
then the last piece I would say, and again, this is just my personal approach, I don't go in thinking of as a mentor as a sponsor. What I go in with the mindset is I need to earn that person's trust and have them see the value in me and what I'm bringing to the table, because I know that will eventually become sponsorship. And be bold about your intentions. If you want to get somewhere, be very direct and be very bold. Be very intentional about where you want to go and who you need to bring along to help you.
Powerful, powerful. You know, I, you and I've talked. a couple times, and my statement has been, and it still remains, I could come in the room when tired, exhausted mentally, physically sometimes as well. And talking with you, you're not walking away drained. You're walking away infused with more positive energy. Your thought process has there's an evolution that happens because in talking with you, you help a person evolve. I'm positive your team members think the same way, and your peers. But let me ask you this question:
Yeah.
people have peaks. You see people, and a lot of times people evaluate
Mm-hmm.
individuals off of their peaks. They don't see as much the consistency when people are operating at a high level consistently.
Mm-hmm.
You operate at a high level consistently. Yeah, there's always going to be peaks and valleys, but the peaks and valleys are
Mm-hmm.
still consistently high, right? How do you manage that? How do you manage that
Yeah.
energy level? How do you manage the mental fortitude that's required to stay at that level that allows you to get 9 promotions and a slew of sponsors in
Mm-hmm.
18 months?
I appreciate that question and thank you for that. For me, I used this word before, but it's really about being intentional. I have two notebooks that I carry with me all the time. One is a personal and the other is a professional. And I practice gratitude every single day. I start off my day, I listen to my devotion. One of the things that I've habit that I've really picked up is every day I thank myself for three things that I'm grateful for about myself. It can't be about anyone else. And what that really has taught me, especially over the last couple of years, is put me in a space where I know that before I can be anything to anyone else, I need to take care of myself. That's my mental, my physical well-being. And I think it also comes from, seeing the sacrifices that my dad made when we moved from South America to the United States, and knowing that he did that because he loved me so much that he wanted a better life for me. And just always thinking that I was never going to take that for granted. And I have a husband and two beautiful children today, and I think about the life that I was fortunate enough to have growing up, and how much I want to do that for them. But also, excuse me, what motivates me is thinking about what I'm doing not only blesses my family, it doesn't also impact my team that I have the privilege of working with, but also what I'm able to do outside in the community. And so when I think about my energy level, my mental and physical well being, I know it's not just about Shabana Walker or her family or the Shabana Walker at Comcast. It's about the Shabana Walker in the community and everything that I can do. And that is what gives me energy. I would say that also what I've learned, especially over the last 3 years, is just feeling no guilt when I take my time off and just decompressing. One of the ongoing joke is, and it's true, I make sure that I have a spa day every single month. And if it's not that, I make sure that I'm reading. I love reading. And my husband will tell you that, excuse me, that when I'm reading, I get lost. Like I'm on another planet, but I don't feel guilty taking the time that I need to decompress because I know the way that I show up, and genuinely this is who I am. I would say 98% of the time, excuse me, that it gives other people hope that they can do it. If I can do it, again, I started out as a frontline agent, right? That they too, that if there's a lot of thought and intentionality behind it, if they aspire to even do 10% of what I'm doing, they're able to do that too. So I know that it's bigger than me. And I think that's what it is for me, is that I know that I'm sitting in the seat for a reason. And there's been so many people that helped me get here. And if I wasn't paying it back, I know that beyond disappointing myself, that it would really be a missed opportunity, because I'm in a position now where I can help people, even if it's through introducing them to individuals like yourself, or going out and volunteering, or supporting an organization. It's just much bigger than me. And so when I wake up every single morning, I think about what is going to be my attitude today, and how is that going to impact those around me.
Oh, they're gonna love you, girl. Anna, once again, these are the nuggets of wisdom, but and not just that. These are those energy shots that you throw out
Yeah.
that says, all right, yeah, come on, let's get it, right? And
Yes.
for me, as a person who, in some cases I have responsibility of being an energy giver as well. You are grateful when you have individuals around you, um, who it's a communal energy share,
Yes.
some give, some take, some give, some take, you know. So, trying to hats off to you on that. You said something earlier. I want to look at something through the eyes of you as a customer, not a
Uh-huh.
customer experience
Yes.
executive, right? So right now we're in the day and age of metaverse, conversational AI, and all of these other whiz bang, technological advances. And in some cases, I wouldn't even say advances, just, well, metaverse is obviously, but conversational AI, it has been progressing over time. But when I look at you looking at it from the lens of a customer,
Hmm.
how do you want to have that experience felt that
Yes.
says, I'm going to stay with you as a customer?
That's a great question. So for me, it's all about make it easy for me. I want it to be effortless. Make it easy for me to do business with you. And I just think about, being a working mom and my son, he's the youngest. He's in multiple activities. We don't have a lot of time to have that in-store experience. And one of the things that I've really appreciated is how technology now allows you to be in a virtual dressing room.
Oh,
And with kids, they're growing, it seems like overnight. And just being able to have a virtual dressing room where I can pick out clothes for him or myself, that's an easy thing. So the holidays are coming up. I'm a planner, so it was nice to go on certain websites and they reminded me of what I've bought throughout the year for my children. And
mm,
maybe I'm interested in something else. And I think it really just takes that that the customer having to do a lot of research. I don't want to do that unless I'm buying something big, like, make suggestions to me based on my buying habits. And so for as a consumer, I've really appreciated that is, use my habits to really tell me what I need, because sometimes I do need that, especially when it comes to, whether it's buying toys or buying clothes or even again, I mentioned like reading books. And one of the things I love about one of the apps that I use based on my reading history, it comes up with my top 20 list that I might like. And again, puts me in a position to try something maybe that I didn't even think of before. But what I also like about it, maybe not my wallet so much, is giving me suggestions on things that I need that may never have thought of that I needed. Once I was adding things to my cart. So from my lens, it's all about effort. Make it easy for me. Make it enjoyable, where that things that I've either reviewed or I've repurchased again, that it's something that I'm going to want to add even before I need it.
what's funny is as you're saying that, my brain is referencing tools, technology, quality, customer experience. You live what you
Yes.
do, right? I mean,
Hmm.
you're sitting there, that everything you just said reflected
Uh-huh.
right back to that. Like, look, y'all got to have the right tools. I mean, you
Yes.
have some machine learning and AI in the technology space,
Yes.
and it better be qualitative, right?
Yes.
Otherwise, you lose me as a customer. So I hope people are
Exactly.
listening, right? Because it's not you, it's you, you're as a microcosm myself as well.
Hmm.
After this, we're going to talk about your book collection. I need to know what you're reading, but that's a different conversation. So yes, so I want to get you out of here on this line of question, right? So
Hmm.
I know you're going after your PhD.
I am. Yes.
Also, you're a very big advocate on wealth generation, and you
Yes.
have aspirations of being an executive coach.
Yes.
Unpack those three things for me, and.
Yes, absolutely. So I would say, going back to school to me was a choice because, as I mentioned, I just love learning and just thinking about the way that I can grow as a leader, as a thinker. And I just think about all the lessons that I've learned in my career and things that maybe I wish um, I had known, or things as we talked about, network sponsorship, or even just general career advice about being a first-time leader. Being a diverse woman in the workforce, what does that mean? So, I do have aspirations of being an executive coach one day. Right now, a lot of what I'm doing is mentoring and sponsoring people, and just giving people an opportunity to talk to me. So I would say if you have anyone that is listening to this, and they're at that pivotal point in their career, or they're just starting out and need some help, reach out to me via LinkedIn. I have a website that I'm working on launching before the end of the year, but this goes back to just being that connector and making sure people have the right energy around them. And at the end of the day, we all need someone to be our cheerleader, someone that's going to aspire us, someone that is going to believe in what we can do. And not everyone has that privilege of growing up with that structure, either in their household. They may not be experiencing it in their current work environment, family dynamic, whatever it may be. And if I could just give someone a little piece of advice that could help the trajectory that they're on, I'm all about it. And I think for me, it's also around how do we make our future generations better? You talked about generational wealth, and a lot of people are not sure where to start. Maybe there are parents out there that aren't sure, what a 529 is, or maybe someone just entered the workforce and they're being offered a 401k and they're like, well, why should I sign up for this? How's this going to benefit me? And really just thinking about how we're setting ourselves up today for a brighter tomorrow beyond ourselves, right? Whether that's for our families, our communities that we're in, or whoever we aspire to support and have impact, including ourselves, just helping people talk about the importance of, physical, mental, spiritual, career, financial well-being. That's just such a big passion of mine. And again, I'm always open for the conversation. Always, if I don't know the answer, always willing to connect someone with someone else that may know it, right? But just again, being a resource for anyone that needs a friendly person to just chat with, to just get some advice for, I'm open to it.
It's that energy. You're going to hit me because I'm going to start steering people your way.
Bring it on. I mean, I've done it to you already so many times since we met, so it's only fair, right?
So I know, I get it.
Yes.
And
Yes.
keep them coming too. I'm meeting with somebody this afternoon, so yeah.
Good.
No, this is one of those scenarios where, hey, you wish these were in person sometimes, because
Yes.
you and I can feel the energy exchange back and forth. But it was when not too long ago we were in New York for Diversity Week, and just being back in the presence of all of these great leaders and all the energy that was going back and forth, the goodwill, it recharges your back. I mean, it wears you down a little because you're doing 14 next hours days of just conversational,
Yes.
etc. But at the same time, you're different afterwards. I'm different
Mhm.
after we have conversations. And I hope that's reflecting with our audience as well, where as they reflect on the conversation themselves, they feel different. They get charged with the energy that you're giving as well. So I appreciate you and thank you for taking the time for us at NAMIC Atlanta. This is not the last of Shabana Walker. You're going to see more. We're going to look. I'm grabbing Shabana for panels, etc., because the knowledge, wisdom, and experience that she shares with individuals, and I'm appreciative of it, and I hope our audience is appreciative of it as well.
No, thank you. It's a pleasure. And NAMIC is such an amazing organization. I'm so grateful for the work that you all are doing, and I'm happy to help anytime. And just thanks again for having me today, and thanks for the conversation today, Charles.
Thank you.